David Burrows. I'm currently serving the life sentence for killing my little boy. The thing is, I didn't do it.
I need to show you something. I think Matthew's alive.
If Matthew's out there, I'm gonna find him and bring him home.
I think in this case, we both agreed that early on that we loved the way the emotion of this ending more than the actual twist of who did it or whatever else. They're leaving you with that very last scene if you've seen 8. Hopefully a little bit of a tear in your eye and things like that. I don't often change the endings. I may add to them or have an extra twist or two, and I think we do probably in certain areas. But I think we were pretty much on board of doing it exactly that way.
Exactly. Harlan, you don't take a Harlan book and change the heart or change the end. My job is as much a custodian of keeping that heart alive through the series, and of course, adding some new twists and some new turns and a visual medium. But I consider myself more of a defender of what the book was than wanting to change it.
I always wanted the character, without voicing it, to say that he had doubt. You know, I like that idea. So even at that point, even though he's saying, yeah, that son is mine no matter what, I still wanted that idea that, does he really? Is there a doubt in him? Like, and how do I convey that without the words being that or without the sentiment being that? So that's what I always found was the conflict for David as we drove through the series.
So what you're saying is you think that was him trying to tell himself that?
I think so, yeah. I think that's how I kind of approached those scenes, was every scene should be David's unsure if what he's doing is right, if the son is alive. Like, but the script's not giving me that to do, so I just wanted to try and do that myself. I thought that would make things a bit more interesting for me.
When something is off, she's not going to ignore it. And I think she felt pretty clear that he was innocent even 5 years ago. And so when she sees the photo of a little boy who might be her nephew, she puts 2 and 2 together and goes immediately on this mission to get to the bottom of it.
There was that moment when David is standing on the ledge and he turns around and he looks at her and he goes, I can't go back. And they have a connection, which that connection between them is important, because then if they don't have that connection in that moment, you don't buy that they would have this journey later. That was very early. That's when yeah. What about you? I'm curious.
I think Max, as far as what I knew by playing it, Max only cared when his daughter was in harm's way. That's the only time Max gave a damn, is because, you know, Max is old school, and his idea is, I don't care about what happens to the guy. My job is to catch him, and we just catch him. We don't cook him. So I don't care what's happening to this guy, but if you got my daughter, now that I'm down and I'm in the hospital and I'm a little incapacitated and my daughter is in the line of fire, I'm telling everybody to get their asses over there, you know, or they're gonna have me and hell to pay to deal with. And so that's the only thing that made Max, actually care what happened to David, whether or not he did it. No thought in the world about that. His job was just simply to, hey, they put you in prison for a reason, you gotta go back. Anything else is between you and a bunch of lawyers.
Nice.
But my only focus is on taking you from where you are and put you back to where you've been.
Yeah, I think, you know, she's lost everything. She's now teaching journalism, but she still has this fire in her belly of wanting to find the humanity in people, wanting to find their story. But this is, I think, I felt strongly that for Rachel, this is about her family and really about finding her nephew. And so it's a real betrayal when her former editor goes behind her back and publishes in that one episode. It's almost like the maddest you see her get is that someone she really trusted takes information and uses it against them.
Yeah.
So Yeah, she just has this strong moral compass and a strong integrity. And of course, she's a journalist by nature and it's always going to be looking for the story. But this is, for her, it's about family.
Part of their past is the reason that they're partners. As in all family, there's skeletons in closets and things that are not out in the open or that both people know but never discuss. That's one of the big things about family secrets is that it's an open secret. That's why I don't go to black people's funerals.
You want to find out some secrets?
You want to find out? Go to a black funeral, and you're like, boy, you think that's your uncle in that casket? Yes. Boy, that's your daddy. That's your daddy. I'm tired of keeping these secrets. That's what you get. So I think that, is it wise? Well, who can tell? Because there's always the chance. We both know that one of us may not come home alive. You have to accept that in order to do the job. But it can be dangerous when personal and the occupation worlds collide.
She hesitated because the moment before that, he says, if you have a chance to take Burroughs, you take him. And so in that moment, she's battling, do I listen to him or do I save him? And that's a tough line. And it's funny, even hearing Shai talk about the backstory, I have a totally different, this is what's so fun about actors, because you get to create whatever you want for something. So for me, like, Sarah saw her dad working his butt off growing up as a child, and her mother, resented that. And it's the last thing her mother would have wanted. I think we agree on that. Last thing her mother would have wanted her to go into. So there's this, you follow in your parents' footsteps. One that, for me, it was like this thing that kept him away from our family. What was so shiny about it? Like, Sarah wants to know what was so great about this life. And she respects him so much because he's great at what he does. So in that moment, it was, do I listen to the person who's great at what he does, or do I save this person who's my flesh and blood?
I'm a little more hopeful, I think, than most people. And I think it feels like a real ending. It's what real life would be like. But I was just sort of saying, like, I wouldn't mind at some point gathering some people who have seen the whole show and saying, tell me what happens for the next year. Where a year from now are these characters, and hearing their answers. So I think the audience is going to hope for the best for them.
There was something kind of unique about that we didn't just ended in a beautiful bow and they were kissed and run off into the sunset together. I like that you don't know, and it's up to the audience to see what the possibilities of the hope is, and you hope for the family that they can keep going without any more tragedy.
This is the hardest. You hope this is the hardest thing they've ever had to do. And that it gets easier from here on out. But they're together, and I think that's a really earned moment. The whole family is together. Matthew is holding his little sister, and there's just this real sense of, like, they've been through hell together, and they're gonna move forward one step at a time.
The kid might need a lot of therapy.
I think so.
But, you know what I mean? So that might be something.
David might need therapy too, though. I
think we're all going to need therapy. Therapy together, therapy solo, lots of art therapy, maybe even physical therapy for all the stunts that you had to do.
That very last moment between Sarah and Max, he's retired, but he's still there. They're still on the case, and I love that about them because that can go anywhere.
Max is gonna be either by her office or waiting in the parking lot or waiting on the front stairs in the morning with some coffee for her for every day until he croaks. Max could have one foot in the grave and the other one on a banana peel, and the only thing he wants to know is, where are we at with that case?